Stay a while and listen.
What is going on, guys? So today I wanted to present to you my Elemental Druid guide. Now this is a windy druid, and I'm just going to go over all the basic gear, all the skills that I would use. And this is also not only a really good PVM build, it's also a very popular PvP build, but I'll be going over the PVM aspects of the windy druid. I think this is probably one of the most effective PVM builds out there. It is, you know, a very common build within the community. You guys know I like to make a lot of, you know, really weird builds and things like that. A lot of you guys have been requesting that I make a video about, you know, the Elemental Druid or the Javazon, so I thought I would get this out the way and to show you guys the gear and everything that I would use for my windy druid. Now, as I was saying, I think that this build is really effective, and to be honest with you guys, I think this build is just as effective, or even could be even more effective than the hammered in, but it's definitely going to be a lot cheaper than getting all the hammered in gear. So I'm just going to go over the items real quick. So probably the most for my build, you know, this type of build you can get like really expensive gear, or you could just get the basic gear. But for me, the most expensive item for this build would probably be Enigma. But I'm just going to go over all the gear real quick and give you guys my thoughts. So I'm using Heart of the Oak, Enigma, which is a must teleporting around with this build, and then I'm using Delirium. This helm didn't come with the druid skills on it. This helm would normally just have like to the all skills and all the other little stats down there. So I think this is a really good cheap alternative to instead of getting like a super expensive rare druid helm with resist and all this other stuff. You can kind of just search around when you're killing monsters for a druid helm that has skills on it, and then you can make a helmet like this. I came across this one and it had 3 hurricane, 1 tornado, and 2 twister, which is really good stats. And what you could do is it could be 3 sockets, and then if it doesn't have any sockets, you could just do your socket quest here and it'll give it 3 sockets. So probably one of the other cheaper alternatives is using Jalas, which I think is really good also. 2 skills, and it has a ton of resist and other awesome stats on it. But you really don't need to get anything too expensive for this build to be effective. Like I said, Enigma is probably the most expensive item for this build besides maybe the Mercenary. So I'm using Heart of the Oak, Enigma, Delirium, Mares, Spirit Shield. I'm using Alder boots. You could go with some other type of really expensive boots, but for me, when it comes to boots, I like to have the 40% faster run walk, because I just like to run around fast, and the Alder's boots are really good all around, so I usually use those on some of my spellcaster builds. Then I'm using 2 Stones of Jordan, the Spiderweb Sash, Mage Fist gloves, obviously the Ani and the Torch, and all elemental skill Grand Charms. Now, and for your Mercenary, still very basic stuff. I'm using Fortitude on Dario's helmet and Infinity. So, and then as far as the skill points go, I put 20 into Hurricane, 20 Tornado, 20 Twister, and 20 Cyclone Armor, which is really good for absorbing damage. And with this build, the Hurricane is going to be doing cold damage. But one of the weird things about the Elemental Druid is the Tornado. Now the Tornado does white damage, which I think is physical damage. So, and as far as the other skills, I put none into Shapeshifting, and for Summoning I put 1 into all the, you know, Summon Grizzly, Summon Wolves, and I put the rest of my points into Oak Sage so you can get some life. Some people might have maxed out Oak Sage instead of Cyclone Armor. It's kind of all up to you. I kind of feel like for a PVM build, you should put the points in the Cyclone Armor. And as far as the stat points go, it's very basic. I put enough points in the strength to use my gear, enough dexterity to use my gear, and then put the rest of my points into vitality. Now there are other builds out there for Windy Druids where they go for max block, but for this build I didn't go for that. That's probably more of a PvP thing, I'm not too sure, but this is just the way I like to do my side of this build. You know, many other people have their opinions on whether a character should go for max block. Maybe they would use Storm Shield or something, but in my opinion, you know, I don't die very often on this character, so I just put full vitality. So let's get into some gameplay real quick. This character can easily clear out like chaos and things like that, so we'll just start doing the chaos. I'm gonna bow up here, and then what you do is you cast your hurricane, which lasts for about 50 seconds, and then you have to recast it. And as far as my buffs, you want to cast up Oak Sage, then you want to cast up Cyclone Armor. So what you do while you're playing this build, you cast Hurricane, and then over here on the left you want to use Tornado, and I hold down Shift and I click to cast my tornadoes. So a really good thing, I mean, I never run out of mana on this character. Using Tornado has 10 mana cost, which is really low, so I never run out of mana ever. So I mean, basically what I do is I just teleport up to the monsters and start casting tornadoes, and then they're done. And so, you know, and I do a lot of melee classes, and the thing is with melee classes is, you know, they don't do a lot of area effect damage. They can't do a lot of damage to a big group of monsters. It's mainly just single target damage. So melee characters can't really, you know, clear chaos in a reasonable time, but this character is, you know, just doing so much damage all over the place. It's really easy to just knock monsters out, man. It's definitely an awesome PvM build, that's for sure. See, in here, right here, there's a spirit mask, and that's what I was talking about earlier. That's a druid helm, so you can always pick those up, check to see what kind of stats are on it. See, it has cyclone armor or whatever, but you could find, like I said, you could find one that has hurricane and twister and all those other good stats that you would use for this character. And after this run, I'll join a higher level difficulty game. I know this is only one player difficulty, but it's kind of one to give you guys a little, you know, give you some gameplay and show you what this build's like. Check this legend sword for, I might keep that, or no. I was thinking about getting a legend sword for a weird build for my mercenary, but I was looking for an F legend sword. I'll bow up again. Cast that cyclone armor. Right on. Ooh, nice drops, dude. A unique ring. Oh, and the bloodletter, man. I had this sword in elementary school. I used to love it, man. I thought it was one of the best weapons in the game, but it just kind of looked like it to me. Man, I was young. And the mantled heel. I was hoping for a Stone of Jordan, but you know, the chances of that are pretty small. Alright, well, now that we got a chaos run out the way, I think what I'm going to do is try and join a game like this right here, duels. I love joining duel games and killing monsters, because then the people in the game, they don't leave. So I'm hoping chaos isn't cleared out. If chaos is cleared out, I'm going to do... If chaos is cleared out, maybe I'll try Bale or something like that. Try and solo a hard difficulty Bale. You know, and you can also like summon your grizzly and things like that. I mean, I don't really do that too often, but hey, helps out. Those are cold elites. Alright, well, it looks like chaos isn't cleared, so get this going. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, you guys probably already know, on Switch I got Call to Arms and Spirit for battle orders. But that's pretty common, you know, with most builds. Most builds have a Call to Arms on them. So as you guys can see, I mean, I'm soloing this and, you know, I'm just breezing through it. Oh shit. Alright there. No. Man, I don't know what that unique monster has, if he has Iron Maiden or something. I think they took that out, I don't know. All I know is that unique monster was about to fuck me up, dude. See, and even if something's immune to cold, you could just use your tornado to take him out, which is really nice. Really want to try to keep your Oak Sage and your Cyclone armor up, because that's really going to help you out with survivability. This guy keeps running. Take them all out. Yeah, buddy. Freaking awesome, dude. And there's a lot of monsters up in here in Chaos. It's nice though. Some GG drops. still a pretty decent amount of people in here, so it's good. Ice Shard Grim. I've really seen that name. Hit pretty hard there. Should probably let my mercenary and grizzly tank them. Got any more potions? Take them on, bro. Really don't feel like dying. Can't die during the video, man. No. There we go, took him out. Probably should have recast my cyclone armor and oak sage for that. Oh my god, dude, another unique ring? Are you serious? Wow, dude. I never see unique rings drop, at least not lately. Dwarf Star. It's still a good ring. Not very valuable, but it's a really good ring, so. But yeah, as you guys can see, I mean, this elemental druid is freaking badass. I totally recommend an elemental druid to anyone. It's just an awesome all-around build. It's a lot cheaper than the hammered in, and in my opinion, you're doing just as much as a paladin would be doing, except for, you know, a paladin probably does a little bit more damage, and they have really good survivability with their overpowered holy shield, max block and all that. So but yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this build, or if you have any suggestions for, you know, maybe item adjustment or things like that. But you guys know it's Diablo 2, you know what I'm saying? There's always going to be something that someone's going to do different. You know, someone might want to use, I don't know, a faster cast rate ring instead of Stone of Jordan, you know, a faster cast rate amulet. That stuff's more expensive, but, you know, you could either go for something more expensive or go the cheaper route, and it's still going to be effective. So, you know, it's kind of all up to what you want to do. That's what's so special about Diablo 2 is the customization that you have in this game, all the different items and builds and different skills, and you know, there's a million different ways to do one type of build. So that's just something that really makes Diablo 2 special. So I hope you guys enjoyed this build. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about my build, and I will see you guys on my next video. I got some family stuff going on for the next few days, and then I will be right back on track, and the ladder reset should be coming out pretty soon. It's rumored to be on May 23rd or 26th. but there's been no official statement from Blizzard, and you really can't be 100% sure until we get some kind of announcement from Blizzard. So once the ladder resets, I will be making some major announcements as far as what we'll be doing as a community when the ladder resets. And I'm really excited, guys. It's gonna be awesome. So thank you guys so much. New Diablo 2 videos right here every Monday, also throughout the week. Make sure you guys subscribe if you want to keep up with Diablo 2 content, and I will see you guys on my next video.